Hi, we are Doug and Kaylee, and we are a freshly married couple that are in the middle of an adventure to become full-time RVers and see our beautiful country. We purchased our first truck and travel trailer in summer 2020, and it has already been such an experience. In this and the upcoming videos, you will see our cross-country road trip to get married at the Grand Canyon and honeymoon in the West, all during a pandemic. The first half of our trip, we are joined by my sister Sarah, our dog Cammie, and my mom Dawn. Join us on this adventure as we enjoy the ups and downs of travel in a new RV.
Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of our wedding and honeymoon RV adventure. Last week we got married in the Grand Canyon, and as you can imagine, we were very busy, so you got a little snippets here and there. This week is the start of our honeymoon. We leave Williams, Arizona and go to Page, and we'll be going to that shortly. I just felt like we needed to summarize a little bit, fill you in some gaps of what wasn't on film last week. So we stayed in an Airbnb with family, and we had to find a place to keep the RV. So we paid for an RV spot at Grand Canyon Railway Hotel and Campground. And it's basically just a giant parking lot with hookups, which is fine. That's all we needed. And we had my best man Kyle stay in it during the week in order just to make sure everything was good. We knew it was going to be cold before we left, so we prepared for those kind of things. And I gave him a brief run through of how it all works, the furnace and all that, and let it go. Well, this was our first time, this trip in general, camping in very cold weather. And this specific point was the coldest we had ever seen. There were some days where it was in single digits. And I think it was probably the first night Kyle stayed in the RV, everything froze. And he did not have water the next day. There was no immediate obvious leaks or issues, but everything froze. So I had bought heat cords that I guess people put around piping in their house up north. I wrapped that around the water hose, and I also put this insulating foam around it, hoping that would do the job. And it did keep everything melted where it was in direct contact. But you have to really, really cover every inch, because 4 inches away, like if I start the cord, the heat cord 4 inches away from the spigot, that spigot's freezing because the campground only was insulated to a certain point. So that was a constant ordeal through the week. Every day adjusting to try to make it work, getting it thawed, then it freezing again. And obviously we were horrified that all the pipes had busted in the RV. We knew it was a risk, but we really felt we hadn't had that issue yet the whole trip, so we thought we were good. And we also were under the impression our RV had like tank heaters, and it does have a heated underbelly, so we thought that would be enough to do it as long as the furnace was on. We were wrong. Luckily, nothing broke. We were scared that when things would thaw, that's when we would find out there would be a leak, because as it's frozen, there's not going to be water damage occurring anywhere. Nothing broke, thank God. So every day when it would warm up enough that things should thaw and we were able to get the water running, we were testing everything, no problems. But it happened, I think, 2 days in a row before we like seriously started changing the way we did things. We emptied all the water, made sure there was no water in the tank. We would only hook up as needed. It basically got to the point where he was barely using the RV for anything except somewhere to sleep. He ran out of propane in about 2 days, which, once again, we had traveled the whole trip in cold conditions, but we never ran out of propane. So I was under the impression it would last a while. In Florida, you don't use the furnace at all. So we used 1 pound or gallon of propane, I think 1 pound of propane the entire time we owned the RV. So about 6 months in Florida. And in a week of using it, we went through both 30-pound tanks. So 11 o'clock at night, everything's frozen in the RV. He's freezing. He has to run to the gas station to refill a 20-pound tank that we had just to get him through the night. It was terrible. So now that the wedding's over, Kaylee and I have to address this because we're about to honeymoon in some very cold places. We initially were going to go to California to start in Death Valley and then go to the Pacific Coast. Coronavirus got really bad there around the holidays and everything shut down, and we decided that we didn't want to go and enjoy ourselves but then feel like we still had to go back and redo everything so we'd get the full experience. So we decided just to dig a little deeper into some of the stuff we'd seen before in Utah and Colorado, which I had not been to. So where this video picks up, we're hooked up to the RV. Everything's in working condition, but we know we got to address some issues. And we're heading down the highway on our way to Flagstaff to head up towards Page. At this point, I know I have to get a heated water cable. So I stopped at one RV superstore, I guess you'd call it. They had sold out of all their heated water hoses. Luckily, after the conversation you see ahead, I do find a heated water hose in Flagstaff, and we use it in Page. So, newbie RVers, getting lucky. The RV gods smiled upon us on this trip and didn't ruin everything for us. We could have been in some big trouble, and everything seems to have worked out. So now we get to start enjoying the adventure. So, enjoy the video. Hi, Steven. I was calling to see if you had any heated water hoses for sale available. Okay. We're coming from Williams, so I just stopped at this Route 66 RV place, and we're going into Flagstaff, so I saw there's a few of you out there. I really appreciate you telling me all that. Do you happen to know if there's any stuff up towards Page? Yeah, we have some of those heat cables, but they weren't working quite as good as I had hoped. So, but I really appreciate it. Thank you. Have a good one. Bye. They don't have any. So he said he was very nice and suggested other places I should call, and he said there's probably 2 other places in town that might have it: RV Country and some other repair store. So we'll call them. And he said Page will probably have stuff too, because there's such a boat place and boats have the same issues, I guess. So
Okay.
yeah, we'll see. So we left Flagstaff with our heated water hose, and we're very happy about that. And we're getting into some very familiar country. Kaylee and I have been here once before on our journey to Horseshoe Bend and Page, and we knew we needed to get the camera out because we were about to visit a very stunning area. This is Highway 89 going north towards Page. To our west is the Colorado River, basically an extension of the Grand Canyon at this point, and in the very far distance is the Vermilion Cliffs National Monument. The landscape is absolutely amazing, and it seems completely deserted. As we get higher and higher to the top of this plateau, we know it's going to open up into basically farmland, which was a big surprise our first time. And that road meanders down for about 5 to 10 miles to Page.
Went by your house, what a big mistake. Before a while I thought that I wouldn't break. I need something else to clear my head. Someone to tell me how to live instead. Just open your eyes and take my advice. Stop rolling the dice and just compromise. It's the chance of your life. Okay, try to be brave. You have so much to save. Take control of your own life. Right now, every mistake makes you feel like a fake. Take control of your own life.
just got to a Wahweap Campground in Page, Arizona, and guys, check out this view. This is one reason we love this trailer, because of all these windows.
On our drive, I made a phone call to the Wahweap Campground in the Glen Canyon National Recreation Area to see if they had any availability. Luckily, they did. Sadly, they were only open till 4 p.m. So without a reservation in advance, we needed to get there and get there quick. We got there just in time, and the campground is beautiful. It is inside a fee-restricted area, so be aware that you need a pass. A national park pass will work. We found out about this campground from Traveling Robert. If you're familiar with his YouTube channel, he stayed here once, and we were amazed at its beauty. We had seen Lake Powell, but not from this perspective. And it's an awesome campground. It was fairly empty for winter, and they only had about, I think, one loop open anyway. So it's definitely a quiet place. Not exactly cheap, but awesome.
Okay, try to be brave. You have so much to say. Take control of your own life. Okay, try to be brave. You have so much to say. Take control of your own life. Right now, every mistake makes you feel like a fake. Take control of your own life. Yeah, it's a hot day. I'm hanging in the sunshine. You should hit me with the splash gun so I cool down. Won't you come on over? We can party till the sun's down. Baby, let me buy you a drink while we're dancing a blink. I could go for some Queen Bee too. Macy's going boom boom. If you're looking for some crazy, I'll tell you everybody's standing in a line for the water slide. You can come on over. We can take the roller coaster. And you know everybody's looking for a ride in the water slide. Water slide. Surfing on a wave of good feelings. Well, it's just another Friday in paradise. So bring your A game, cause you know this party won't stop. We could never run out of time, sipping strawberry lime. You know I wanna share it with you. Macy's going boom boom.
Hang on.
Oh, don't tell me.
Take my mittened hand.
Our first walk as a married couple.
If you're looking for some crazy, I'll tell you everything.
legit beach.
It's beautiful.
We can take the roller coaster. And you know everybody's looking for a ride in the water slide. Water slide.
We're at the beach. And I'm in mittens and snow boots.
It's nice. The beach is, the sand's easy to walk in.
Yeah.
I don't know how much of a beach it's gonna be.
Very nice. Not sure what kind of sea monsters live in this water.
I don't think you want to sunbathe on these rocks.
Yeah, you just put an extra thick towel down.
And it's a farther walk than it looks.
How's it walking?
Yeah. This sand's not so nice. Well,
It's beach nice.
yeah, it's nice for the beach, but winter in shoes walking down here. Not prepared. I don't know if the camera's going to pick it up, but there's a person way down there to give you a reference of how far away the water is. And the walk down here is very steep. The GoPro doesn't show it, but at the angle you can kind of see how it steps down. Look over there. It said 3/4 of a mile, and I was like, there's no way.
The person's like right there.
With their little doggy.
All right, let's just look.
Yeah, it'll take us an hour. This section of the Glen Canyon National Recreation Area is awesome. It's definitely made for visitors. It's not remote. There's pretty much everything you would need. They have a gas station, they have restaurants, they have a marina. They have the largest boat ramp I've ever seen in my life. It's basically a road that goes into the water. I know the water level is low, so I assume they have to keep extending the road. But it's just all crazy to see. They look like these are townhouses or condos. There's places you can get your boat repaired. There's boat rentals. Houseboats are a big thing. You just saw the swimming beach we walked down to. It's somewhere I would consider heavily consider if I was going to take the family on a vacation. What a cool place. On top of the lake, there's also Antelope Canyon, which is very close. That's where you get the picturesque views from a slot canyon, underground basically, and Horseshoe Bend, right around the corner. You get all of those things within maybe a 5-mile drive. Page is a very cool place, and I definitely advise anyone in the area to stop by.
It's getting kinda crazy up in here. Got that DJ playing music everybody wants to hear, yeah. It's getting kinda crazy up in here. Everybody wants a ride in the water slide. 3, 4. Baby, if you're looking for some crazy, I'll tell you everybody's standing in a line for the water slide. Take the roller coaster, and you know everybody's looking for a ride in the water slide. Water slide.
Join us next week as our adventure continues in Bryce Canyon National Park. We then move on to Grand Staircase Escalante National Monument and stay the night just outside of Capitol Reef National Park. Thanks for watching.